Our world is changing. Nothing can be said to deny that. Each year, more extreme weather affects humanity on a global scale, destroying entire communities and leaving hundreds of thousands homeless. These natural disasters range from hurricanes to polar vortexes and extreme cold, the likes of which we have never seen before.
A relentless snowstorm has dropped nearly 6 feet of snow coming right in off the lake, with upwards of 2 more feet on the way.
Perhaps the most relevant natural disasters are the massive, deadly wildfires that tear through California each year. But what can be done about these lethal blazes? And have previous measures, which have resulted in the highest rate of extinguishment ever, done more harm than good? These questions and more will be explored in Wildfires Into the Inferno. Fire suppression has been a topic of great controversy in the United States for centuries. Before the era of colonization, Native Americans would start bush and forest fires to clear new grasslands for bison herds, and there were little efforts to control or contain wildfires. As colonization expanded west, new organizations were created to safeguard and protect America's natural resources, such as the U.S. Forest Service in 1905 and the National Park Service in 1916. Following particularly deadly wildfires in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, notably the Great Fire of 1910, fire suppression was instituted as the new law of the land. The U.S. Forest Service implemented the 10 a.m. policy in 1935. This measure served as a promise to both the American people and the U.S. government that any wildfires would be suppressed and contained by 10 a.m. the morning after they were spotted. This and other prevention techniques, such as the Smokey Bear advertisements launched in 1944, had immediate results. The area burned by wildfires annually in California dropped from 1.5 million acres in the 1800s to just 57,000 acres by the mid to late 1900s. But were hidden consequences lurking beneath this apparent victory of man over nature? Famed environmentalist and ecological scientist Aldo Leopold drew attention to the risks associated with complete fire suppression as early as 1924. He claimed that wildfire suppression was disrupting the natural equilibrium of the forest and damaging the life cycles of certain species of trees. A staggering number of Douglas firs and a severe lack of new sequoia seedlings served as a testimony to his case. His official report, now known as the Leopold Report, scrutinized fire suppression methods and found them to be doing more harm than good to the flora and fauna of the area. This led to the passage of the Wilderness Act in 1964 and the recognition of fire as an ecologically necessary process. Roughly a decade later, the 10 a.m. policy was abandoned, and wildfire suppression gradually transitioned towards wildfire management with a focus on prescribed burns. But were we too late? Controlled burning has always been a difficult task, as much of the control aspect of the burn depends on weather conditions as well as the type of material burned. Fires can easily become uncontrolled if there's a sudden shift in the wind or if areas of land with a large amount of fuel are accidentally set aflame. Additionally, continued logging of the Californian forests has prevented the area from returning to its natural equilibrium, as the removal of large, mature trees allows for saplings to proliferate. These saplings, shrubs, and grasses, now able to grow in abundance thanks to the increase in sun exposure due to canopy removal, offer ready fuel for fires. Wildfires are now burning longer, stronger, and larger, a hazard for both firefighters and civilians alike. Perhaps the largest confounding factor, however, is humanity itself. As humans move deeper into the forest, fire suppression becomes increasingly necessary in order to safeguard civilization. This, above all else, is why fires, contrary to popular belief, cannot be allowed to just burn. Additionally, as humans buy more forest land, the amount of land prescribed burns can be performed on decreases because the state cannot set fire to private land. Thus, the controversy. Should we ignore decades of research and continue to fight fires in an effort to preserve humanity? Or should humanity be ousted from the forest in an effort to return the area to its natural equilibrium? Unfortunately, neither solution is practical. Instead, a sort of compromise has been achieved. Pile burns, a type of prescribed burn, involves the clearing of underbrush in an effort to allow seedlings to mature. This burning of the debris in a single contained area allows firefighters and environmentalists to choose the time, place, and the size of the fire, all while promoting the natural life cycle of the forest and preventing future, more destructive fires. Additionally, new education efforts by the state of California and national park rangers aim to teach homeowners how to set safe, controlled burns on private land.
We're going to use several different firing techniques so you can see different ways to burn a field. A backing fire moves against the wind. It slowly backs into the wind, and so it's much slower, but that means the residence time is longer. Always start the fire on the downwind side adjacent to a fire break. No exceptions. Allow an area to blacken like you see here, and allow the fire to back into the wind. This is what we call a backing fire.
Recent efforts by environmentalists have highlighted the need to direct less funding towards fire suppression efforts and more funding towards fire management campaigns. Will these efforts solve a centuries-old problem? These campaigns, all of which strive to return the state of California to the natural equilibrium this area once inhabited, promise to do just that. Whether or not they can deliver upon that promise, only time will tell. This has been Wildfires into the Inferno.